Free agency is right around the corner, and while the Chicago Bears hold the third most cap space in the NFL, we're going to talk about 3 free agents the Chicago Bears could target. We're also going to talk about why the Bears' decisions this offseason could tell us about how they feel about Tyler Scott, all that plus the mailbag right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host here, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content. So I want to talk about 3 free agents the Bears could target. 2 of them kind of on the list of maybe cheaper free agents that definitely are at positions of need for the Chicago Bears. But one that you guys have been asking me, so this is a friend requested, a listener requested topic to cover as far as this first guy we're going to talk about, and that is Saquon Barkley. Now, there's been a lot made that the Bears could target Saquon Barkley, even though the Chicago Bears have a solid enough running back core, and Shane Waldron, while he does use running backs, especially he used them in the passing game a lot as well. The new varying offense, a lot of Bears fans are wondering, are the Bears going to try to upgrade the running back position? Now, while I personally do think that the Chicago Bears aren't going to be a team that really does pay, free agents, especially at that running back position, a lot of money, Saquon Barkley does bring some needed skills for the Chicago Bears. He can offer just an outright beast at that running back position that the Bears could look to bring in. I have my own, like I said, doubts if you guys can get from this of the Bears realistically targeting him or not. Now, he has said that he does not want market setting money, which could go well in the Bears maybe signing him, but he's 27 years old. He's in his 7th season. The projection for his contract per PFF is $9.9 million. And his stats last year, 247 carries, 962 yards. That's 3.9 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns, 41 receptions for 280 yards, 4 touchdowns there, and 2 fumbles. We know it. He was the running game last year for the New York Giants, period. And it seems like the Giants are not going to be really placing the franchise tag on him. So he is somebody that can be out there and get – he almost would have had 4 straight years of 1,000 yards in a row, but he kind of fell out of that with, what happened in him not getting that. Having an ankle sprain in week 2 against the Cardinals would had him sidelined there, really did impact that. But otherwise, when you look at it, the positional need for the Chicago Bears at running back isn't the greatest. Now, that was last year as well, theoretically, and the Bears still went out and drafted Roschon Johnson, who I think this Bears team is going to be extremely high on this, going into next season. So I doubt that the Bears are really going to be targeting Saquon Barkley, despite what some people will tell you. Now, we know we have Khalil Herbert there. We have Roschon Johnson there. We did have Deontay Foreman last year, who's not coming back, right? But, Khalil Herbert's a 5th-round pick who's shown some flashes of absolute greatness in this. Well, let me not say greatness, being an above-average back. But, with the question marks on what's going to happen with Khalil Herbert, going forward, and the Bears maybe not giving him money, I just don't know if I see the Bears even paying 9.9, a little bit under $10 million for a running back in Saquon Barkley, considering that they have way bigger pressing issues. We need to figure out that offensive line. We need defensive line help to get to the quarterback, right? We need that to help add to Montez Sweat. We need another weapon in a wide receiver. So I think that that's going to be one of the biggest things that keep the Bears from going out and getting that, even though he's not looking for market-setting money or anything like that. I just don't necessarily see it, that fit happening. Now, that's not to say that Saquon Barkley isn't a talent. It's not to say that maybe if the Bears can get Saquon Barkley at a reasonable contract, maybe they do look to move a Khalil Herbert at the draft or something like that. But I think ultimately the Bears are going to ride out with what they have at running back. They may draft maybe a running back later in the draft if they feel they need some depth there, or do what they did last season with signing Deontay Foreman and find – because there's going to be a running back that's left there with no team, that's a veteran, that maybe isn't as good as Deontay Foreman, but maybe still has some things to prove, and that may be what the Bears do if they want to add some more depth to that running back position. So Saquon Barkley, I covered it because I got asked about it. I kid you not, I could have had a full mailbag episode on just people leaving voicemails on if the Bears or why the Bears should sign Saquon Barkley. So I really wanted to cover this guy and give my thoughts on it, and we'll probably talk about it a little bit more as a team as well once we're all together again on Sunday. So be on the lookout for that. But that's just kind of my thought process on it. I don't see the Bears really going after Saquon Barkley. But hey, I've been wrong before. That's not to say that maybe the Bears do something that, that I don't necessarily expect, but I think we got other impressive things. And maybe if those other things are addressed in a way and the Bears have some cap space left over, they go after maybe a running back, a more veteran piece. But Saquon Barkley's probably going to be off the board by then, but we'll end up seeing. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What do you think about the Bears, and their potential, going after Saquon Barkley in the offseason? But outside of that, I want to bring two guys to this one. We've been talking a lot about edge rushers, right? And we've talked about everybody from Danielle Herter to AJ Epinesa to other players as well. And they are absolutely players that the Bears could target. But I'm going to bring up another one that the Bears could target that I think can be gotten for a little cheaper. Not cheap, but cheaper, right? Then especially Danielle Hunter. And that is Jonathan Greenard. Like, this is another guy who had basically a breakout season last year. When you look at it, he had 52 total tackles, 36 of those being solo, 12 and a half sacks as well. The most sacks he had prior to that was his second year in the league at 8 sacks. So he added 4.5 sacks to his career high on that as well. Like, this is a guy who can get to the quarterback. And like I said, 26 years old, kind of fits that timeline, also fits about the age group that Ryan Post has typically signed players at and given them money. Now, he's expected to get his Spot Rack has his projection as $13.4 million, which would place him among top 15 of all pass edge rushers in the game. So, that's something to look out for. I don't know if the Bears spend that level of money. That's the same kind of questions around Danielle Hunter, right? But he's going to be less than Danielle Hunter. So if the Bears do strike out on that, this is definitely somebody that they can go after. Now, some of the concerns with him is he has not played a full season yet in the NFL. He played 15 games last season, which is only missing 2. So, it is that, like, he has some minor, when you look at outside of that, last year was his career high. He had 15 games played last season. His first 2 years in the league, he played 13 games each. And then in 2022, it was only 8 games played. So there's definitely some injury concerns with him that you have to look at. But when he's on the football field, you really can't doubt his production. He's a productive player. He can get to the quarterback. He's at a position of need for the Chicago Bears as well. And he is somebody that can add somebody. He's basically a blue chip guy there. So, there's other, of course, edge rushers there, and Leonard Williams, Danielle Hunter, Carl Lawson as well, that they could target. But I really do like Greenard. Again, as somebody who's 26 years old, can definitely, like I said, fits that timeline. He brings a veteran presence. That's if the Bears don't decide to address the edge early in the draft, because if they do decide to use their number 9 pick, for example, for an edge, I don't think they're going to spend $13.5 million on a veteran edge. So, that's something to look out for. Potential there, but I really like his ability on the football field as well. Also, when you look at it, he had 12 and a half sacks, and he had a 22 pass rush run rate. That was 6th in the NFL. So again, and he's solid enough in the run as well that he's no slouch in the run game. So this would be a huge upgrade at that opposite edge from Montez Sweat for the Chicago Bears. We'll see if they end up going with it. Now, the next guy that I'm going to talk about is a guy that I've talked a little bit about before, and that's center Connor Williams. Now, the biggest red flag here with him is that he suffered an ACL injury in his left knee in December. That is the biggest thing there. Spot Rack projects his contract to be at $13.5 million as well. Now, I think even if you do draft this guy, not draft him, even if you do sign this guy as a veteran center who could definitely help, you still need to get another center in the draft, whether that's later in the draft or if the Bears do get in the second round and find a center there that I think the Bears are trying to get to. This is somebody who addresses a position need for the Chicago Bears. There's some question about if he's going to be ready to go by the start of the season, but from what I've been able to find, it's better chance than not he's going to be ready to go by the start of the season, which could be the biggest thing. It's that contract, though. When you look at if he's going to try to get that $13.5 million he's projected to be, you got to have some questions there, right? So that contract would place him in the top 3 center contracts behind Jason Kelce and Frank Rango. So that's the questions that you have there. Do you want to pay that level of money for a guy that is coming off an ACL injury when you could, if you do trade into that second round, you can get somebody who is younger, yet unproven, but still has huge upside, and maybe sign a veteran piece that can spot start for you if whoever you draft isn't ready to go. But Connor Williams, 6'5", 317 pounds, only 26 years old, again, fits kind of that age range that Ryan Post typically signs people in. So I do think that there is a possibility there. I think this could be one of the better signings for the Chicago Bears at that center position. The biggest question just is health there. But the measurables, he is a stud when you look at it. He had like over 90% win rate in pass coverage. That is exactly what we need, regardless of who's going to be the center for the Chicago Bears. We need somebody who can outright protect the quarterback and is going to be able to do what he can do. And so I really like Connor Williams there. You guys can let me know if what you think down below. That injury, I know, is going to cause a lot of concern for some people, but let me know. Before his injury, he had a 93.9% pass block win rate. That's excellent. It's definitely better than anything we had. So at the point of attack, he's definitely great there, and he's solid in the run game as well. So let me know what you guys think on that. Now, before we get into the mailbag, I got one last topic I want to talk to you guys about, and that is we've talked a lot about the wide receiver position this upcoming offseason, that the Bears could draft a wide receiver. They could also sign a veteran wide receiver. They could look to bring back Darnell Mooney. One of the guys that's kind of left out in that conversation is Tyler Scott. And I think what the Bears do with their wide receiver position this offseason is going to tell us how confident they feel in Tyler Scott. If they do go after and sign a veteran wide receiver and use their draft picks in other positions, maybe even still takes a wide receiver maybe in round 3 or something like that. There's some quality ones there. But if they do that, maybe they're looking at Tyler Scott and giving him a chance to really see what he can bring in that slot. Tyler Scott was somebody who didn't play a whole hell of a lot of slot. He played in the outside in college. We understood that when he was drafted by the Chicago Bears, the idea was for him to play in the slot behind Darnell Mooney. And, we really didn't get to see that. We had Equinami St. Brown go. Chase Claypool was trash. And Tyler Scott didn't produce the best either in his opportunities that he got. He just didn't. He had, one big game for the Chicago Bears last season. Now, and we know the offense was an absolute mess last season, and Luke Getsy was the offensive play caller, so you got to take from that what you will. But Tyler Scott, coming in, still only being 22 years old, you got to kind of look at how much do the Bears view him. Now, he had only 17 receptions on the year last year on 32 targets, 168 yards. That's an average of 9.9 yards per catch, but no touchdowns. He had a fumble as well in that time. So Tyler Scott left a lot to be desired. Now, I think that the Bears always looked at it as, hey, we're going to try to develop this guy. I don't think they look at it as somebody who's that they were expecting to give you a really big output in year one. But we got some work, and I think that Tyler Scott still being there and being kind of a player that the Bears did have some promise in, we're going to see how confident they are in him, with what they do with the wide receiver. Now, I don't think that Tyler Scott is good enough or has shown enough that if the Bears have an opportunity to still draft a wide receiver and sign a veteran guy who can help you and have one of the a solid all-around wide receiver core, Tyler Scott hasn't shown nearly enough to where you sidestep that just because you have a young guy that you have some promise in. You got to make him fight and earn for it. So let me know what you guys think. How do you feel on Tyler Scott? What is your pulse on Tyler Scott now heading into next season? Let me know that down below. But let's go ahead and get into the voicemails for today. I wasn't going to plan on playing voicemails, but Rory was complaining, so I got to get Rory's voicemail in. And you guys also have been going off in the voicemail, so we got a lot of them. We got some overflow. So we're getting to this first one. This one's from BC.
What up, brother Haize? It's your boy BC. You know I'm always right. Hey, check it out, man. A couple of days ago, I put in the comment section saying that I think Vliss Jones should be switched to running back. And they flamed me inside the comment section. They was clowning me. Now, don't get me wrong. It was all fun. It wasn't nothing disrespectful. But, brethren, y'all got to hear me out, man. Vliss Jones got that speed, bro, that he could take it to the house every time he got the ball in his hands, especially on this outside zone running scheme. Imagine him with a little 5-yard dump off. The man can take it to the house every time he catch the ball. Everybody keeps saying the dude fumble, but he don't fumble when the ball in his hand. He fumble when he try to catch a kickoff. Think about it, man. Get some honest thought to it. Vliss Jones, star running back. Get a 1,000-yard season out of him. Recreate his career. You know I'm right. I'll let your boy bear down till the world blow up.
First of all, Vliss to running back. That is such a interesting take. And I think Vliss is fast, don't get me wrong. And he has game-changing speed ability. But I don't know. I haven't seen enough from Vliss to say, can he pick the right gaps, right? Is he going to be elusive enough even when he does have the ball? Yeah, he has. We call him Dropsy Jones here for a reason, but is he going to have enough to avoid that even if you're putting the ball in his hands? And I don't know. I'm not saying that, I'm certain in it. I would like to see him used in the run game, right? We used him some in the run game last year, and I think the couple of times that we went to it, it was actually pretty successful, but those are on gadget plays. I would like to see him utilized that way, but we've talked about it here before, me, C-Dub, and Bobby, that Vliss Jones does have some of that positionless football type skill set. It's up to the Bears, and now that we have a play caller in Shane Waldron and the offensive staff that we do, maybe they do look to get creative in that and use him in those ways. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Now, there is a chance that Vliss Jones is cut. Let me be clear that there is that chance. But if he does make the roster, finding ways to utilize his speed, which is probably his best ability, I'm not against finding ways to do it. I just don't know if you want to move him to a permanent running back. Use him in the run game. I'm not necessarily saying move him to running back per se, but you guys can let me know what you think on that one down below. Let's get into the next voicemail. This one is from, listen, Rory been on me about this. Let's get into the voicemail from Rory.
Hey, Bobby, C-Dub, it's your boy Rory again. Hey, man, I just want to say that I think, man, everybody on social media, all the sports commentators and all that, and people on podcasts, all that, they got their own podcasts, they all saying that, Ryan Poles is going to pick Caleb Williams going to draft the quarterback and all this and all that, But, I mean, I feel like this, because everybody's like, Scheffner said this, and the other guy, he said that. These guys that's plugged in on the inside, And like you said, Haize, nobody knows what Ryan Poles is going to do. It's all speculation. It's all speculative. So they can guess all they want and everything. But what I personally think, I believe that Poles, like I said, just my opinion, we always talk about opinions. I believe that Poles is going to draft that number one pick and get the haul. You know what I'm saying? He got it for a historic haul. I mean, of course he got to sell it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, somebody got offered me a historic haul to make everybody think that he's going to pick the number one draft pick. You know what I'm saying? He got to sell it to put more value on it. Like you said, man, Poles is playing chess while these others are playing checkers. You know what I'm saying? The man is very smart and strategic. He knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He's going to drive that price up. You know what I'm saying? Get a historic haul for Caleb Williams. If you really want Caleb Williams, make me an offer I can't refuse. You know what I'm saying? So I really believe that Poles is going to do that. And he's going to keep Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is going to thrive with this new coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? Because Shane Waldron is way better than Luke Getsy. We all know that. And I believe that Shane Waldron, his offense is going to play towards Justin Fields' strength. And he's going to be a better passer. You know what I'm saying? And why would you get rid of Fields if he's been improving every year and he's on an upward trajectory and you get rid of him? That makes absolutely no sense. And why would you keep Matt Eberflus, you know what I'm saying, when Justin Fields was the reason why we won all those games? You know what I'm saying? The ball wasn't getting thrown to these players by itself. That was because Justin Fields extending plays and everything. You know what I'm saying? So why would you keep Matt Eberflus? You know what I'm saying? The 3 games that we lost and they came back, that was because your defense failed and other things too. But, hey, why would you keep Matt Eberflus and draft a rookie quarterback and get rid of Justin Fields? You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Rory there. I got to throw some fun. Got one of the OGs around here. Rory, I promise you, we didn't miss your voicemails on purpose. The voicemail back has been ridiculous, bro. Like, and Bobby and C-Dub can vouch for me. At any point in time, we have between 25 and 30 probably new voicemails at any given time. It's difficult and things get lost in the shuffle, so I don't want you to think we were ignoring you, brother. We've just been getting a shit ton of voicemails. I didn't even know you left a voicemail until your comment yesterday, but he said this. As far as Poles trading the number one pick, I do think that Poles is playing chess. We know that, right? He's keeping his cards close to the vest. Now, as we get closer to free agency, as we go through free agency, we get closer to the draft combine, we're going to start seeing a little bit more of what that plan is from Ryan Poles. Now, I've been keeping an open mind. The Bears could absolutely trade the number one pick. They could draft Caleb Williams. Those are opportunities there. I have what I would like to see the Bears do, but those are things that are at the disposal of the Chicago Bears, but it wouldn't be anything that we haven't seen from Ryan Poles for him to play it just like he did last year and still trade that number one overall pick. But they're going over that decision. And so we'll end up seeing what happens. I know that we've kind of looked at like between March 10th and 15th as when that's a couple of weeks away now, right? Between when the Bears make that decision. But don't be surprised. I know there have been projections and people have talked about it. Schefter and all these people have talked about the fact that the Bears could look to move Justin Fields during the draft combine. If Poles is really trying to keep those cards close to his vest, we may not see a trade until draft day. Now, that would be crazy. Now, that would also be the Bears playing a big risk, especially if they are trading Justin Fields, only because at that point in time, you've gone through free agency. A lot of those teams could have already found their quarterback in the open market. But I do think that, as we go closer and closer to this, we're going to start seeing a little bit more behind what that plan is. And we'll see who the quarterback is, what the Bears do. We'll end up seeing. But I agree with your mindset and where you're thinking is like, get that historic haul, right? Add so many assets to the team for the future. Like, hell, look at it. We still haven't even seen all the benefits and the assets that we've got back from last year's number 1 overall pick. So that mindset of, that you can get something great that can help your team for the now and the future by trading it. But I think the Bears also, as they said, are in a unique situation, and we'll see what they do with it. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Chicago Bears Central. Make sure you guys are following the show at Chi Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, chicagobearscentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number 1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.